Hey there! So this is something I've never done before, but I've felt like I should at some point because I get a lot of questions from people about how I produce my songs. And so I just want to start by saying that if you're someone who is looking to start putting up your singing on YouTube, whether it be original or karaoke tracks like I do or whatever, just know that you're starting out exactly where I did. Like I wasn't like endowed with some sort of book about how to do this. I think I was living with my parents still. I just really wanted to be able to record myself singing. I didn't have a camera, so I would just record the vocals and put that up on YouTube, so it would just be a black screen. There's a few of them if you look back in my video history of just songs, and actually one of them is The Wizard and I from Wicked, and I did it so long ago with kind of a crappy microphone, and so I'm going to redo it now. The program I use for editing my videos, or I'm sorry, not my video, my sound is Soundtrack Pro. And I'm sure there's lots of others, and I don't know about any of them. This is the only one I use. I've also been using the same microphone for a long time. The first microphone I used was like a regular stage microphone, like a Shure microphone, and I had some sort of cable to hook it up to have the input go into the computer, but it wasn't so great, and it was kind of complicated, and I didn't even have a stand for it, so I used to just kind of like put it up on my bookshelf and like stand really awkwardly close to my bookshelf to get the sound. I found a while later Blue microphones. They make USB mics. The one I use is the Blue Snowball. So it's just this little guy right here. It looks like R2-D2 a little bit. And then I just bought this off Amazon, just a little pop filter. On the back of the microphone there are 3 settings, 1, 2, and 3. From what I know, it like if you do it on 3, it can take more sound around it. Like if you're gonna do a podcast, a bunch of people could sit around this microphone. I keep it on 1. I don't know that much about it. I just plugged it in one day and tried it, and it worked. And I'm no expert, and nor do you have to be, obviously, to do all this stuff. So basically, I go on iTunes and I just find karaoke tracks, and I just drag it into Soundtrack Pro. So there it is. Hit the R button right here. So now I know that I'm recording on this track. And then you go over here, and there is a selection here. I picked the Blue Snowball, and I picked monitor built in, which now I can hear myself talking. So now I hear my own voice in my ears, which is useful when you're a singer to be able to hear yourself. You know, when anyone is on stage at a concert, they have some sort of monitor either in their ear or literally like a speaker that's pointed at them so they can hear their own voice, because otherwise you can really lose yourself in the music and not be able to hear what you're outputting. And basically, I'm going to go through the song, and then I'll show you the kind of filters I put on. So if you don't want to listen to me sing, you can skip to the end. If you're just here for the singing, it's coming soon. And afterward, I just export the song, and then whatever video I make, whether I make a video right here, right now, like with my camera, and then put the 2 tracks together, or maybe I make a video of me like running around dancing and stuff, I just match them up in Final Cut. So I take the sound file and bring it into Final Cut and I match it up there. Yeah, I'm just going to try to do this in one take. I'm not going to obsess over it. However, if I mess up big time, I might stop and go back, and you can see that process and what that's like. So I think I'm ready. I don't have any water with me, but I'm just going to move on. Okay. And I also have to have the air conditioning off while I'm doing this, or else the sound, you have to try to make your space as quiet as possible so that you don't get noise interference. And yeah, let's do it. So you just hit the record buttons right down here. And it's just gonna go. Here we go. Did that really just happen? Have I actually understood this weird quirk I've tried to suppress or hide is a talent that could help me meet the wizard? If I make good, so I'll make good. When I meet the wizard, once I've proved my worth, and then I meet the wizard, what I've waited for since birth. And with all his wizard wisdom, by my looks, he won't be blinded. Do you think the wizard is dumb, or like Munchkin, so small-minded? No, he'll say to me, I see who you truly are, a girl on whom I can rely. And that's how we'll begin, the wizard and I. once I'm with the wizard, my whole life will change. 'Cause once you're with the wizard, no one thinks you're strange. No father is not proud of you, no sister acts ashamed, and all of us has to love you when by the wizard you're acclaimed. And this gift or this curse I have inside, maybe at last I'll know why. When we are hand in hand, the wizard and I, and one day he'll say to me, Alphaba, girl who is so superior, shouldn't a girl who's so good inside have a matching exterior? And since folks here to an absurd degree seem fixated on your verdigris, would it be alright by you if I degreen, if I you? No, of course that's not important to me. Alright, why not? I'll reply, oh, what a pair we'll be, the wizard and I. Yes, what a pair we'll be, the wizard and unlimited. My future is unlimited, and I've just had a vision almost like a prophecy. I know it sounds truly crazy and true, the vision's hazy, but I swear someday there'll be a celebration throughout us. That's all to do with me. And I'm standing there with the wizard, feeling things I've never felt. Though I'd never show it, I'd be so happy I could melt. And so it will be for the rest of my life, and I'll want nothing else till I die, held in such high esteem. When people see me, they will scream, for half of Oz's favorite team, the wizard and I. Weird, but I was like nervous to do that. I don't know why. Okay, so that's done. I think here's one thing. You know, I went right in the beginning. There it was. So I'm just going to trim that part back so it starts right when I start singing. And sometimes when I hit the space bar to end, you can hear it. Or at least there's some noise, so I'm going to pull back there too. These are my vocals. So let's see what it sounds like just like this. Did that really just happen? So if you notice, it's kind of quiet. Have I actually understood? It's sort of like the music is overpowering my voice. So the first thing that I do is I go over here into dynamics, and other programs have these filters, so you don't have to have Soundtrack Pro, but I found it's the least buggy. It works really well. I think I used Audacity, which is a free program that you can get on Windows also. And it just crashed a lot. But it's not like I didn't get things done. I still got things done. It was a little frustrating. I just remember sweating a lot and not being able to use it. So I put a compressor on. So as soon as I add the compressor, you can... Did that really just happen? Now my voice is much, much clearer. The compressor brings a lot of room tone into it. Like if we mute this. To suppress or hide. It's a talent. It's like, it's really loud. It's like, it's a little piercing to the ear, which is why I use a reverb filter. So I go into reverb, I use platinum verb, and then hit presets. Here's ambiance. Or hide is a talent. It's weird, right? There's big room. Oh, church. Ah, and there's live club. So I'll make good. Which I I use Live Club sometimes for certain songs when it sounds right. For this, I'm probably going to use low soft or multiple room. It doesn't correct my voice in any way. There's no like pitch. I mean, I think there are pitch correction things. I've never used them. I don't really know how. But I know that this just makes it sound a little more polished and a little more like the actual cast recording, which is generally what I'm going for here, so to have it actually sound like a professional recording. So I'm just going to toggle between having it on and off, so when you see this thing change color, you'll hear the difference.
And with all his wizard wisdom, by my looks, he won't be blinded. Do you think the wizard is dumb? Or like Munchkin, so small-minded? No, he'll say to me, I see who you
See, it's a little bit of a difference.
truly are, a girl on whom I can rely.
It's a little much.
And that's how we'll begin, the wizard and I.
I actually like this one.
And once I'm with the wizard, my whole life will change. 'Cause once you're with the wizard, no one thinks you're strange. No, father is not.
It's just nice. That's the filtering I do. It's not that much. It's really fun to play with all the effects, because there's a lot of effects over here. You can do a lot of fun, weird stuff. There's music beds in Soundtrack Pro. You could write your own music. You can do so much stuff with this program. It's fantastic. So yeah, that's pretty much all I do. And then I generally give it a full listen and make sure I really like it, which I'm not going to do now because this is just a one-shot deal. But basically hit O for out point. So now we have... this is what is going to be... So that's cool. Actually, I'll shorten this song and hit O here. And then I just export it. I usually export it as an MP3 once, and then I also export it as an AIFF file. The difference between them is that an MP3 is very compressed and an AIFF is not. And so if you're going to bring something into a video editing program, you're going to want it to be the uncompressed version, because especially Soundtrack, not Soundtrack Pro, Final Cut Pro, which I'm not using Final Cut X, I'm still using Final Cut 7. If you bring an MP3 in there, it will need to be rendered, because it won't recognize the file as something editable, so it'll have to like turn it into that. And if you bring in a larger file and has all the info in there already, then it won't need to render, and it's very nice. And that's it. And most of the time, while this is exporting, I'll just tell you, most of the time I film myself over here with this, and then I do this as well, and then I bring this file onto the computer, bring it into Final Cut, and bring the file that I made in Soundtrack Pro, and just line them up. And then I delete the audio from this, because it's usually pretty noisy, and what I'm going for here is the sound quality, so I don't want the noisy camera thing, even though I really don't mind people hearing my voice without filters on them. I just like it. It sounds pretty, and it's fun. It's really fun. If you watch some of my really old ones where I did like Michelle Branch, there's way too many filters on there. I was just throwing them on. I was like, this is cool. So it doesn't sound terrible. It's just, it's a little bit, it's a little much. So that's all. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to say. You will see more on this channel. I'm not sure the direction I want to go in yet. I'm kind of sorting that out. But when I do start back up, it'll be cool, and I'll actually be excited about it for once, rather than just throwing things up for the hell of it, like this video. But I hope you enjoyed it. And yep, this is when I awkwardly just stop. See you guys soon. Bye!